People are always searching for the best life they can build. In that pursuit, they often change their environment, leave behind old circles, and reinvent themselves. Living in a big city, I've seen plenty of newcomers, young people from small towns and villages, drawn in by the promise of better jobs, entertainment, and opportunities. It's just the nature of things here. Almost a year ago, I met one such newcomer, a woman who left an immediate and lasting impression on me. Olivia. From the moment I saw her, there was something mesmerizing about her, a calmness in her eyes that pulled me in. We clicked instantly, and after our second meeting I knew she was special. Conversations with her felt effortless. We saw the world in a similar way, our thoughts and wishes often aligned, and I couldn't shake the feeling that she might be the one. Olivia was different from most people I knew. For one, she had no social media. No accounts on any of the big platforms, which was almost unheard of in this digital age. When I asked her about it, she simply shrugged. I used to be on them, she admitted. Spending hours scrolling, chatting with my girlfriends, but then I realized I could have spent that time actually seeing them in person. So I quit. It was healthier and better for my eyes at least. I was intrigued. So how do you keep in touch with your friends back home? I don't. She gave a small smile. I made some friends in college, but I don't really miss anyone from my hometown. I was always at odds with my classmates, never had close friends in the neighborhood. And she wasn't lying. I noticed early on that she rarely made calls, and when she did, it was only to her parents, and even that was infrequent. Over time, she built new connections at work, but she never spoke of anyone from her past. Still, everything about her just worked for me. Our daily rhythm, our conversations, the way we coexisted in the same space without tension. Her cooking was excellent, we connected effortlessly, and I found myself thinking about the future. When I decided to propose, I chose to do it at home. Olivia never liked big, public gestures. She accepted without hesitation, looking at me with such certainty, such sincerity, that I never doubted her love. We don't need a huge wedding, she told me. Just us, a few close friends, sign the papers, have a nice dinner. What else matters? It's about you and me, not anyone else. Sounded reasonable, intimate even. But one thing nagged at me. What about your parents? I haven't even met them. She brushed it off. I love you, and I'm sure they'd like you too. But honestly, we don't need to involve them. They're far away, it's a hassle for them to travel. Her insistence on privacy didn't seem alarming at first. If anything, it made her commitment to me feel even stronger. She wanted to be my wife, my best friend, my partner, without outside interference. But looking back, I wonder if I had simply been too blinded by love to see the warning signs. With a little over a week before the wedding, I finally convinced her to compromise. We agreed to invite guests, at least enough for a small gathering. She handed me a blank sheet of paper and told me to list the people I absolutely wanted there. My family, my closest friends, about 30 names. When I handed it back to her, she added a few of her own. 5 names in total. 3 co-workers and the husbands of 2. No old classmates, no college friends, and most importantly, no parents. This unsettled me. Are you sure no one from back home would want to celebrate with you? She shook her head. I cut ties with them. I don't need any old acquaintances. You're my present, my future. My past is just water under the bridge. That should have been my final red flag. But I let it go, assuming there was some painful history she wasn't ready to share. Then, a few days before the wedding, everything unraveled. We were at home one evening when the doorbell rang. I opened it to find a man about my age standing there, holding the hand of a 4-year-old boy. He looked respectable, not like a beggar or a stranger with bad intentions, but there was something intense in his eyes. I'm looking for Olivia. Olivia White. Sure, come in, I said, assuming it was work-related. But the moment Olivia saw him, her face drained of all color. She gripped the edge of the couch as if she might collapse. What are you doing here? She hissed. I'm returning what you left behind, the man said calmly. Get out, she spat. I don't want to see you. Meanwhile, I stood there trying to piece together what was happening. Then the little boy tugged at my sleeve and looked up at me. "Are you my dad?" I forced a laugh, confused. No. Your dad is him." I gestured to the man beside him. "That's where you're wrong," the guy muttered. "I used to think I was his father for 3.5 years. Then I found out I wasn't. And Lord only knows who actually is." My mind reeled. Olivia was shaking her head, muttering curses under her breath, trying to shush him. But he ignored her. "She never told you, huh?" he scoffed. "She never told me either. I thought we were a real couple. Thought we'd get married. But she always had excuses. First, the baby was too small for a wedding. Then she wasn't the marriage type. And then, poof, she was gone. Just a note left behind. You know what it's like raising a kid alone. Working all day, changing diapers all night. My mom had to move in just to help. And after all that, turns out he's not even mine." I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. "I tried tracking her down," he continued. "Her parents wouldn't say a damn thing until I confronted them with the DNA results. That's when they finally admitted she was here. So here I am, returning what she abandoned. Maybe this boy belongs to you. Maybe not." Could barely breathe. Olivia was sobbing now, but I couldn't bring myself to comfort her. The man turned to leave. "I've got his clothes and stuff in my car. I'll bring them up." I stopped him. "No need. If you're heading back, why don't you take them with you? There's a mother and grandparents who haven't seen their daughter and grandson in a while." He hesitated, then shrugged. "Fine. Whatever." I turned to Olivia, pointed at her shoes and purse, then at the door. She tried to speak, but I didn't want to hear it. We haven't spoken since. And in a strange way, I feel relieved. It was messy, but at least I escaped before I made the worst mistake of my life. I've learned a lesson I won't forget. If something feels off, trust your gut. Don't wait for the truth to reveal itself. Dig until you find it. Then make your decision before it's too late.